Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. Here cleaning up the garage here today, putting away stuff, making room. Got some painting I gotta do. And sizing up the old Toyota body here, and I started looking at it, sizing up. This car has come a long way, okay? This main shell alone, I'm willing to say, has close to 200 pieces welded into it throughout the entire car. Rust repair and modifications, okay? I'm going to turn around now and take you guys down a trip down memory lane on all the pieces that were welded in this car. Stick around. What issues I got, as soon as I look at it. We're going to start inside the trunk lid here today. I'm going to work on getting this section up here done, getting that fixed, and these corners. I'm going to see how much I can get done today. And I just turn around and I marked it like so, using this here as my guide. I marked it along there like that, and then fade it out, and you're left with a little mark. What I'll do now is I'll cut that off along that line there, and that'll butt up against that. Alright, so I got a cut. And then I went and fit it, and then I grinded the edges of it and make it snugger and whatnot. Then move on to the next one. Right now I got 3 pieces on the go here, which is too much. So I'm going to make these two a one again. As you can see, the way the fit goes across there now. it's a nice fit. So I'm going to round this out best come. When it takes the panel off and gets ready to install it, I'll weld the back side of it. So I'll grind it up there now. So I got that all grinded up. I just done it with a grinding stone here. That's all I did. I just done it with a regular grinding stone, grinded it off, and then I dressed it up with the 24 grit disc on the outside edge of it. So I got on the inside. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to weld all this up and grind it all up and get it ready to install again. So there's the panel, all made up. You can see the way it's shaped, the way it's curved. So that's that one. Now all I gotta do is go back and finish welding it all up. So there it is, all welded in. I got all the back side, all the back of it is done now, finished. So now I can move on to do these. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clamp that in place here, and I'm going to weld that on right where it's to there now. Not going to worry about that corner edge yet, because I got to put a template and everything over that, so I'd soon weld it on and then I'll cut it to fit. I welded it all up solid, and then I just turned around and I grinded it all smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and weld all this up and dress it up. So I went ahead and I welded it all up and I grinded it all up, and then I dressed the lip so it was all the same width all the way around, as you can see. So now it looks factory again. You can see there probably would have been, that bead would have been right here, but I'm not bothering with that. If you want to, you can probably rig up something if you're really getting carried away with it, put a bead in there, but I'm not going to bother with it. But here on this lip, I ended up welding this and grinding it and welding it a couple of times to get it to fit nice with the taillight section. So I got that all done and everything's finished here. So what I went ahead and did then is I went over here and I finished this side. I've done the same thing, same process as I did on the other side. Just made up a piece, marked it out, put the lip on it. So there you have the entire rust repair done all the way around the trunk opening. So here's where we're going to move on to now. I'm going to start repairing all this down here. As you can see, a few holes, whatever. And you see this factory seam coming down here. I'm going to retain that and join it again. I got to do some repairs here as well. There's a lot of issues here, a few holes here. I'm going to take this right up to this crease. There's a crease going right along here. I'm going to take the entire panel and cut it clean right off to there when it comes time, and replace everything from there down. But I clamped them on both sides, and I fitted from side to side. As you can see, it's a little bit shorter here, and it's a little bit longer over here. Not concerned about it. Okay. Then I went in and I drilled 4 locations with a 1/8 drill bit, one at a time. I drilled one and put a cleco in it. So the panel is hanging there now. The original panel is still in behind it. I got 4 good locations that is mounted to. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go inside here. I'm going to start marking a few things, as you can see here, where the panel is to going along. I'm going to mark that there just to give me a rough idea of where the shape is going to be. Okay, I'm going to leave this piece here. You can see this here whole section here will be cut out along here. I'll do that after the fact. I'm going to leave this lip here, this section here, and along here as well, because that's going to be lip I'm going to bend up. And do it and repeat the same process over here. I'm going to cut this whole center out of this first. Now save this piece here, a nice big chunk. And I'll just cut that out, and then I'll work on getting all this here straightened away first. There it is laid up in place. Size everything up. I still have to cut back this corner. This has to go back on an angle and come down this way. I'm not worried about that right yet. But I got it put up in place here in them cleco locations, so it always returns back to the same place. Roll this then to get a decent roll on it. There we go. We'll get the roll lip on the bottom to give us an inner lip, and of course there's a lot up here, and then that butts into this lip that's here, and that'll just flow right down around into the bottom there, and then this here's trimmed off, and this fades off into one or the other. When it's all said and done, look at it. Yeah. Got the lip cut off on the bottom. all faded out, and it looks very nice. Then when it's sat on the car, you got a nice rolled edge all the way up around, and it flows into the bottom panel. So I got the piece made there now, so all I need to do, I got to fit in place. I got to mark it up here now and cut the top off it and get it fit near it, and then I got to start cleaning everything up. I'm just going to cut the top out of the way here, and I'm going to do the cutting butt down through here. There it is, all welded in, grind up. You can look down across it, see the way it crowns around, all around the entire panel. Crowns down underneath the bottom of it. Right. Here's the piece I cut out of it. That was there. Got all clamped in place, ready to plug weld. All the plug welds are cleaned off, as you can see, ready to be welded. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to weld on the ends, and I'm going to tack weld it across here, keep it nice and tight, and then I'm going to cut this on a 45-degree angle, and because this is all overlapped up here, and do the cutting butt up there and weld that in place. The next time you sees that, they'll be all welded in. And there it is, all welded in and grinded up. Have a look at it there. See the way the seam comes down, goes along the bottom edge, rolls in and everything. Right. Nice seaming along there. Right. Side here, same thing. Right. And on the inside then, you can see that it's all been welded. So that's another piece of the puzzle completed. All right, let's get started on this side now. I'm going to make up this piece here. I'm going to make up this piece here. And I'm going to make up this piece here. And I'm going to weld all three of them together and grind them, dress them. So that way I'll have enough material where that crease is to that I can actually shape the actual line, so I'll get a nice crisp line there. Here's all I did, is I went and curved the panel. I also cut it off a small bit, made it shorter, didn't need it all. I'm out past where the rust is to about 1.5 inches here, and about 1.5 inches here, and I'm up down about 1/4 inch from the upper lip, which gives me plenty. I went ahead then and I curved the panel so it fit. As you can see, if you look down, this here has this sort of a curve going on it. So I curved it so it fit nice. Then I clamped it with 3 clamps, and then I put 3 Klinkos in it because I'm going to be putting this on, taking this off numerous times. So I'm happy where that's to there now. So I'm going to go ahead now and start tack welding it together. Leave the panel mounted on the car, tack weld it every inch or so, cool it down, and then go back and start welding again. It's probably right. It's not a flat piece. You could make this on an English wheel and on a bead roller. And what if you haven't got an English wheel and you haven't got a bead roller? What do? You make do. Clamp down again, and it's just a little bit left there now. What I'll do now is I'll just take the grinder self, and I'll just grind along that there, and I'll use the car as my guide to see where I want it to be, and I'll grind it back till I'm happy with it. And I just tack weld it all the way down around there. So now I'll go ahead now and I'll weld all that up, and I'll weld the inside, and then I'll grind this outside here so it looks good on the outside edge, and then I'll cut that off. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to cut and butt all this in place here now and get this finished up. Have it all tacked in place, all cut and butt, all set up there now. There it is, all welded in, finished up. Nice uniform shape. You can see a nice little lip going around her and a crown on the panel. Look down this way, it looks good. So my plan is I'm going to cut it up here, across here, and then move this quarter panel section back, and I can do nothing with the front. I'm going to move the rear end back in the car, making a longer wheelbase. Now, most fellas would just cut it across here and go back, and you'd be right up in the middle of the panel. I have a straight edge here, and I have a straight edge here. These are the two edges that I want. I cut this just random line here, trying to keep it close to this here, and trying to have it so I'm not out in the middle of the quarter panel. I'm trying to keep everything as close to this wheel well as I can. So I'm going to cut it off here, cut it off here, cut it down through here, and off here, and remove this section and just move it back. Anyway, so what I got to do next, now that I got it figured out, I'm going to make a template, or make a piece. I'm going to weld onto this here for the sleeve to go in between this here. I'm going to make that up, weld to this piece before I even bother to put the piece back on. And I'll draw a straight edge across here, and I'll match that up so that is parallel to that there. So I got it all tacked in place, and you can see it all lined up there pretty good. And this is all overlapped here now. I just got it tacked in place. That body line's lined up good. So, and down here, and you can actually see now the way I done the back. All I did is I just cut it off. So all I need to do now is come down here and trim this off down here, and then put a lip along this edge here, and then that'll be done. So the flow will stay the same. So I'm not getting into a full piece down there. But I'm pleased with it. Got a nice flow to it. And here you have it. The wheel well's been opened up 2 inches across here. Take the bigger tires. Lots of room in there now. Alright, let's get back at the Toyota. In the last video, I opened up the wheel arches on this side here and finished everything off. If you remember correctly, I had to turn around and open it up and straighten away some stuff down here. I went ahead and on the other side, I opened it up, as you can see, and done some repairs down the bottom, and done all the work on that there. As you can see here, I got that quarter panel done. Right. Looks pretty good. What we're going to look after now is this lower rocker. There's a number of things going on here. This side here was the worst side here, and she was gone here. So I had to replace this. And she's gone in this back corner, so I'm going to replace this lower section. These were known to have an overlap right here, but the overlap went from back to front, which was unusual. I'm going to redo that again the way it was, because there's a factory look. I like factory seams. Most people fill that right over. But I'm kind of hung up on having a factory seam, so when you look at the car, it still looks original. Not even so much a bit of rust on the lower lip and the bottom of the rocker coming up along here. All this here is absolutely perfect on this car. It's amazing. But then you get back here and it's like, ooh. At this intersection here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to overlap it here. So I went ahead and I bent over that 90 there, and I got it clamped now to the original size, and I got it overlapped up here a small bit. There you got your nice little bent lip. Okay, so I got it mounted in place. Here's that bend on the end. I just done. And I got it clamped in place. And I drilled a couple of Cleco holes to mount it where it's got to go. Now I know that's where that's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead now and weld that on, so then we can get started on the outside. So there's the inside all finished up. It's welded on over here. It's only an overlap. That's all I did, because I want to keep the strength to it all, because I'm going to have to plate this over now to when I goes to put the roll cage in, wherever the plate got to go, whether it's over here or over here. I got lots of strength there now. All I'm going to do is take this piece now I got here, come over here, and I'm going to cut the bottom off it here, because I don't need this bottom lip. And I'm going to put that there and weld it on there. And then when you flip it over, I have a nice little reliefed edge. So here's all I got done. So there you have it, all ground up. You can see now it's got a nice step on it with a beveled edge on it. There's the back side of it there. So basically that's going to go like so. Well, I went ahead and finished it all off. I got carried away myself. This is the panel here, comes over, joins on down through there. As you can see, it fits a lot nicer there now. I got to dolly it a bit now and it's all fine and getting close to it, but I'm happy where that's to there now. Now I got to put this bend on the top side here. I went over and I had to bend it a couple of times. Had to bend it all the way back this way here. Had to bend it back again and bend it again. But I managed to get it. I'll leave this alone. I'm back here, and I'll do the cutting bolt on that after. That way, I got something to hold it out. But in here, I'm bringing up on that in there in order to bring that in where I want to come to, right? So I'm gonna get a scribe now, scribe that along there, and then I'll cut that back to here and cut that section out of there, and that way I'll have that there. Anyway, I'm gonna go back now, and I'm gonna weld all that up, and I'm gonna grind all it up, and when I come back, it'll be all done and ready for the wheel well. All right, I got that all grinded up, and the spot welds are all done and dressed up. You can see the nice little seam down now. Hung up along there, coming along here. There you have it. Nice transition there. Just trimmed it off and then sanded it down so it flowed into the other one and it flowed underneath the bottom and ended. So I got a nice little lip there all the way along there now. So a nice rolled edge on it. So that's going to be it for that one. So let's get started here now. I got to clean up all the inner structure here now, get rid of all that there. The back is different. I got to change that. I got to cut the back section out of it and get that ready to replace all that, because where the cross member is going to go in here for that chassis rail, I got to have a point for it to mount to, and I got to remove all this stuff up along here. So I'm going to go ahead now, get started, get the grinder going, clean all this up inside and out, and get it ready for to do some metal work. So I got everything cleaned off, any rust removed. I had a hole here, a few pinhole, so I cut a large section out of it. I just cleaned everything up back here. That was troubles with two spot welds, and I just tore them clear. I made a mess of the metal, so I just cut a square block out to clean it up. Back here, I cut everything off the back end of it. That's an inner structure there. I'll show you that from the outside now. You see all the factory spot welds, all that's in good shape. Up here is one small little spot there, which is nothing. It's where I tore the inside piece off, and it was a spot weld. Other than that, when you come back through here, it was like, oh. Now I got the piece all dressed up, trimmed up. So there it is, all welded in. It basically butt welded right up easy up here. And across top, I just took the grinder and just put it in on a 45 and just slightly shaved it. It was just tight enough that it wouldn't fall in, but all it did is took a little bit of shavings off it. So then I got it all welded up. So I'm going to go ahead now and grind that up. And there it is, all grinded up. All I grinded off with is a bit of 24 grit discs on the air grinder, and then I cleaned up inside the edges with a little small stone. So I went ahead, welded it in, grinded it all up, got that all finished. So I got the piece all bent up. I had to tighten up along this edge here a bit, a small bit, and I test fit it, and I went back again. I wanted to get a decent overlap here, because I'm only going to overlap this here and weld it straight down through here to give it more strength. So now you can see I got the inner panel I got to put back in place with Clecos, and it's all ready to install, but I'm not going to install it yet. I'm going to make up this inner structure here first. Just loosely breaking it, not too much, and just get a nice large roll on it. So that's all I'm going to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this section down here and get that straightened away. So then I'm just going to work my way around the panel, welding it up. So there it is, all welded in. It's butt welded in along down here, and then it's just a lap weld up here. And I just cleaned it up as best I could. You won't see none of that. You can get crazy with it if you want to, and cut and bolt all that there if you want to, or cut it, trim it to fit. I'm not going at it. There it is. Got them all welded up, grinded them all off. And there we go, that's all welded in. Went ahead, and I turned around and welded up them few spots again. I grinded them off, got them all nice and smooth. Then I went ahead and I welded all the spot welds, and I grinded them all smooth. So this is done now. There's my nice little transition. Okay, I went and trimmed it all up, cut it off. I got it lined up pretty good. Going below the panel, flows down. And then I went and duplicated the same as what I got done over here on this side over here. So I used that as a guideline, so two of them were pretty well the same. So now all I got left to do now is cap this end in. All it is, I just trimmed it off, grinded it off, and it just flowed right in. It's a lot easier doing it that way than trying to make a little piece to fit in there. You can just turn around and work it as you're going, and then grind it, dress it so it looks nice. But that's it. That's rocker number 2 now. I got both rockers done. The other side's done, this side's done, inside and out. Got the inside all done, all welded up, grinded up. So last video we finished off the other rocker, got that all glued up. So now we're moving on to the front section here. I wanted to get this section done here first before I put the front frame in it, for the simple fact that it's going to be awkward to get in around here. Now, I looked at it, I sized it all up, and I noticed that this lip here was like close to the tire and is a straight edge. I want to eliminate that, so I'm going to cut that off. In here, where the firewall is going to come across, I got to plate this over, cover this section in here, so I'm going to do that. I got to tidy up the bottom section. I have one rust hole down here to deal with that I got to fix. So I got to fix that. And up here, I want to tidy this up so it comes in around the corner nicer. I'm leaving the factory hood hinges on it, so I need to trim this up in around here and down through here on both sides. Get that trimmed up and get rid of this plate. So now it looks good going down across here. The next piece I'm going to do is I'm going to put a filler piece. That fits pretty good. Just minor adjustments. Trim it back so it fits it behind it. I do this just to make panels. Now I have a nice little panel that I can install in it. I went ahead and I plugged some holes in it so it can be spot welded on the inside. And painted it all on the back side. And where I put the patch and everything in it. Then I took the panel here. Then I put it in. And I painted it all where I was going to, where I welded it. And then I painted where the lip is too. And while I was waiting for that to dry, I went ahead and I went and put the lip on the other one, grinded it up, dressed it up, and fit it on the car. So that one now is ready to go. I'll take that one off and paint it inside. And when that's drying, I'm going to go weld this one on. And there it is, all dressed up. Looks a lot tidier. It's nice and solid there now. So that's that section done. And I went ahead and done that, and I come over here and I went and finished off this side too. I spot welded that all in, got that all welded in. So now I got the bottom section finished on both sides. Haven't I been busy? That's the piece I got made up on the bottom side. I just made it as I went, designed it as I went, just added things to it. And there I have it all welded in. It's spot welded down along here, up along the back side here, along here, and then a solid welded in through here. And the bead just kind of like fades out into it. And you can actually see where it ended. Get that done. I got that all dressed up here now and spot welded around the back side. So that's it for that. So I got the complete inside completed now. We're going to cut out a piece of steel now. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the piece to go over it. And try to figure out what I'm going to do, because I'm eventually going to remove all this. I left all this here for structural strength. So I'm going to leave that there now so I can get the shapes and everything on it. And I'll just make a piece that'll rough over the top of it for now. And I went ahead and I welded that plate in there. I welded it on the outside edge, and I also welded it on the inside. Also what I went and did is I added these little tiny tabs here. I can weld them on the inside here, see? And same with down here. All this is here is to give strength on this corner. So when I welds this corner on the outside edge, I can do a nice job of welding up or grinding up and dressing this edge to make this look nice. Drill them out, punched them out, got this all ready to go. So this is ready to install on it now. And there it is, all grinded up. Right, flows in up across the top here, into the original top piece. Spot welded down along there. Looks like an overlap panel coming in around here. And it's all welded up through here and all grinded up smooth. Nice round edges on it all. Looks like a finished type piece. So I went ahead, I got this side done, and then I went ahead and I done this side and finished this one off. Same thing. Up around the rolled edge, spot welded down through here. Factory style seam panel. Put the plate inside here. I repeated the process the same as what I did on the other side. Now, we're going to move on to this cowl section. This cowl section here, we got some bad stuff up here. We have holes here, we have holes here. It's the reason why we call her Crusty. Across here, we got this cowl section that's really, really rusty. And I have no real need for it now. So I'm just going to cut it because that's only a water leak. That's because basically the firewall is going to be, if you went straight down, it's going to come through here, right through the middle of this. So I'm just going to eliminate them. I have a small hole up here and that I got to deal with. And of course I got this one here on the cowl, which is around the lip, which is very strange for that to be gone. Like that's perfect here, perfect here, perfect here, but gone there. Why? I don't know. And of course this other vent, and then I got a hole over here to deal with. Okay. Well now, I'm into it now. As I was grinding it off, you were just hitting it, and I was breaking through everywhere, up along the back side here. Just every little rust blister was breaking into a hole. I already knew about that, but these ones up here, scattered little one here and there. I could feel the back side of them there. There was an actual section of the firewall there that came up and went right tight to this lip. And I figured that just rusted. And of course we got this section over here that we already knew. I found a little spot down here. What I'm going to do is, and of course I cleaned that up, I gotta straighten it a bit better than that. But I'm just going to start from one side and work my way across and cross that bridge as I come. And then I'm going to trim all this up so then I can move on to the next piece. I'm going to do it one piece at a time. So I'm going to trim that up now to get that fit in there. I got it fit in there. I got it trimmed up. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my time and I'll concentrate on this section out here on the front side, because it's not so much to worry about there because that's just an edge and that's an edge. But up around here I want to try to keep this as flat as I possibly can. So I'm going to put a few tacks on this now and work this edge here, and I can do nothing with that. I'm going to weld across here, get all that straightened away first, so that if I got to put a spoon in there to tap it, I will. I won't weld on this around here yet. I'll just finish off this lip here. So here's all I got done. I got tacked across there every so often. I'm going to keep the cool air on this because I'm trying to keep the temperature down on it. Take my time because I know this is going to pull away from me if I don't go to hell with it. But I'm not going to weld none of this up here yet. Across the back here, I'm just going to weld this across here and finish that right off. So then all I got to do is weld this corner and weld this corner. There it is, all grinded up. It feels pretty good. A little bit of a low spot here on the outer edge. I can work that. But in here, around that there, oh, that's pretty good in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come across top here. As you can see, I got to push down this corner. I'm going to start welding this across here. And then I'll shape this a little bit more because it's still a bit high right there. And I'll tap that down because this is the height it's got to be. And that there's got to be the height of that. Then I'll weld that up there. I'll go in the inside and I'll weld it on the inside there. And I'll weld it on the inside there. Then I can come out here and I can dress up this edge. So I went ahead and I welded it across the top here, and then I welded it down the side here, and then I went on the inside and I welded it in along here, and then I welded it in along here on the inside. Then I went and welded where I had it welded here on the inside to give it more strength, as you can see there, because it's all welded up from the bottom side. So now that's all in place. It feels half decent there now. I'm just going to grind all that up. All I'm going to do is, like I've done before, is I'll grind this flat here, grind this flat here, and then I'll roll the edge over. I'll get it on a point first, so I got a nice line to go by, and then I'll roll it over. And there it is. Nice rolled edge there, nice rolled edge there. Nice transition through it all. It's all solid metal again now. Now I got it all cleaned up. I'm ready to go. Not doing nothing with that. Just leaving that where it's to. I'm going to lay this in place here now, and I'm going to fit it where I want to do it and start tacking it around every 4 inches or so to get this panel held in place. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So that's all I got done now. I got tack welded in place. That wasn't easy to get out. Come out. Well, it's welded in. All the way along there. Took my time in through there. And there's the first one done. It's welded in down through here. And over here. Just going to fit that up from underneath here. Like so. Weld that in there. And then I'm going to make up an outside section and weld that in. And there it is. All welded in. All brand new. Another hobble done. Alright. Now I'm just sizing it all up. And I think I'm going to try my hand at just trying to weld them up. Okay? Ooh, don't that look pretty? Well, let me tell you. I got the battle scars to prove it and everything. Welded that up. What a time I had with that. I've had enough of that. Anyway, I'm going to move on and do this section here. Now this is much the same as what I did here. One vent delete. That's it, I got that done. I had the same process as what I've done over here. Let's get started on this one now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 patches, possibly 5, because I got one down here. See, that one there. And so I'm going to do the same process again. I'm going to start out here. I'm going to cut a little piece out of that, make a piece for it, weld it in, cut a piece out of that, weld it in. Then I'm going to work on this section here. A lot of times we're at this stuff and we want to just take it and just chop everything out of the way. But I got this line here to go by, this line here to go by. And now I want to leave them there, and also this corner here. I want to leave them there so I got something to go by on each piece and then do it one at a time. And there it is, all finished up. Big difference. Like I said, just took my time, replaced this section first, then replaced this section after. I'm really pleased with that, the way that came out. It's got the nice roll up the edge, got a slight roll up the back, kind of rolls up this way here. So now, I got that done, and here we are at our last piece. All trimmed up, cleaned up, and all ready to go. Everything's welded up. We'll put a little round edge back on it again. Use little spot welds on it. And it's like it's never been tampered with. Looks the part. And that's it for this. You look at all that there now. Going across there. It's got a few pinholes up along here. She's bad like this on the other side. I'm going to cut the piece out of it, weld a piece in it. A couple here, I might just try to weld them up. Or hang on, that one there, I'll probably just weld that one up. Down here, I knew that was there. I didn't know that was there. It's only a small spot. And that one there, of course, we had this one here. Then I had a couple right there. And a section of the lip. Oh, section of the lip right there. She's crusty, I can tell you. She got a good name for herself. Ow, just bit me. Look. It's all rust. Look. All that there is rust. They're all welded up. Simple little process. You've seen me do that before in other videos, using the coat hanger and the drill to actually shape out for large holes. I went ahead and I welded all them up there, and then I come up here and I welded up the few pinholes that I had along here. So I got that all welded in and grinded up. I spot welded it across there. I made this lip a little bit longer so that way I can grind it off here, make it nice and flush. And then I flushed it here and I cut it in across here and cleaned all this up with a small stone and the die grinder. Now I moved down over to here. I'm going to put a full section in here And I'm going to replace this entire lip inside because it is flaky and I've been having troubles welding some of this stuff. If there's any amount of rust, I'll just start burning holes. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this lip. After I get it all welded, I'm going to tack weld that in there, do the spot welds across there, and then work my way out from there. And then I'll cut this in here, do a cutting board along here. And that'll be that section done. So there it is, all welded in, all grinded off. Spot welded across there, nice rolled edge along the outside edge of it there. Looks all original again. So that's the bottom part. So now we got one more spot to do. So here's what I got done. I removed the drip rail down as far as here. I got to clean it up a bit there, but that there is this structure here, okay? So what I went and did then is I come inside that again and I cut a section of that out up along here. I didn't cut through this entire lip here because it's a lot easier to do it. I can weld that from the back side after. But it'll give me something solid to go to. All I'm doing is I'm stepping down with each piece that I'm doing. So now I can start and work from the inside out. I got all the rust cut out of it from here. So I'll end up making this piece here first, the inner structure, and then I'll make this outer structure here, and then I'll put the drip rail piece back onto it over the top of it again, right? It's the second piece welded in. Same process as before, I just cut it to fit and welded on. Didn't worry about this here. This here has a different angle than this here. So I had to make one for this side, and join them in the middle. That there looks good there now. I'll just put a bit of seam sealer along there again now, down through here when it's all said and done. And that'll be all that done. So I got one more section to do. This is the last section I got on this side here, and then I'll have this side of the car. The main shell will be completed. All the rust will be repaired. But along here now so far is good. Sticking up a little tiny bit there. So I'm going to have to work it. This rolled edge here, I'm going to round this off this corner here a bit more on the back end of it. Up front here, it looks really well. It looks good. The way it is there. That seems to be sitting good. Up along there. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off there now and get that ready to fit the piece on it. So I'll trim that up there now and get that fitting and get that tacked in place. And there you have it. Got it all welded up, all grinded off all along there. Feels pretty good. I got this side completed now. All around the windows are done. I think I just sat down and counted up. There was over 20 patches and holes that had to be welded up just in this side alone since I started back on the car. Not counting all the work that was already done to it, okay? All right, it's a new day and new rust. I went ahead and I had some spots down here where there were plug welded. I went ahead and welded them on because I wanted to finish off everything as I was coming around the car to get over to here. Okay, on this side here, if you haven't followed me, I just done the other side, done a lot of rust repair and everything on the other side. 20 odd patches in the last video. I'm here now. All I got left to do is this section here on this bottom main shell, and then I can get it ready for primer. I have one hole right here. I'm not going to go into detail to it. I'm just going to grind it off. I'll show you a couple pictures of it as I'm making the piece, and I'm not going to get into it. But this one up here is a little bit more tricky. I got to replace this entire section here from about here right on back to pretty well the end of it. There it is, all welded up and grinded up. So I went ahead and I just grinded all the lead out of there using the grinder, just 24 grit. Okay, then I went ahead and cut that piece out there. So I'm just going to remove it same as I did the other side. And you can see the build-up of rust, look. So after trimming it up, I got the piece welded on and grinded inside and out there. So that entire piece there fits right nice. It's got a nice flow to it. So I got that all welded up, grinded up, and dressed and finished. All up around the corner here is all done. I basically welded in this corner here the same way as I done before. Put a lot of heat in it and then grind it off so had lots of penetration there. And welded it down across here. And up across top was a lap weld here. And there was a lap weld down here. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start here. I'm going to make this piece here. I'm just going to get a random piece of steel now. Cut it out so wide. And what I went and did is I made this. Okay. This is my template. That falls down side there. And that's the shape that I want it. Okay. So there's my template. So there, I'm happy with that. I got it all fitting there now pretty good. It's overlapped over everything. You can see it flows to the drip rail and everything. And this is basically all you got. It's this panel here, and you can actually look down it, and you can see the curvature that's gone on that. And all it does is I stretch the upper lip of it. So I'm going to blow that out. I cut it out of the way. It's in better shape than I thought it was. And see, you can see there now what I got done. There's the bent edge I put in there. Now it'll actually fit. All I did is I tack welded my edges on either side. Once I got it fitted. And then I worked the bottom down. So this here was flush. And this was flush over here. And I put a couple of tacks on that so I got there straightened away. And this is all lined up now. There it is, all welded in. All along there. So I got it all cleaned up in there. I just turn around, grind the head off a few spot welds that were down through here and peel up that piece there. Just took my time cleaning it up. So I got that all cleaned up down through there. I went and turned around then and I trimmed this piece so it fit down there better. Okay. I got that set up there now. So that fits in there. I got a trim back so it can be butt welded up here in this corner. And it'll be a slight overlap right here. Not a lot, but a slight overlap. Because I'm right on the rolled edge. Should be good there. Same with back here. Just a slight overlap on the top side, and there's a butt weld here and a butt weld here. And then I went and put a couple of little marks. You can see where I cut the little holes in them. That's where I got to put spot welds too. Down to the bottom, they're always tricky to do. So I and got it all ready there now to put together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put lots of paint in here and drown all this in paint and paint the back side of this and let that dry, and then I can install it. I'm going to have to grind this off, I'd say, and I'm probably going to have to weld it along the edge again just to get the nice taper on it. I'll see what it's like when I get that grinded off the first time and have a look at it. So I'm going to go ahead now and get all this grinded down to finish this off. So there it is, all grinded up again. If you look at it there, there's a real nice transition there now. It's all gone. There's still some spots over here. I'm not going to worry about them. You can see there's still, I can probably want to run another beetle on that there, just there and there. It's only a couple of spots. I'm not going to bother. Back here you can see a scattered little spot, but for the most part it's all pretty good. But that's basically it. A lot of you have asked about the drip rails, about replacing drip rails and roofs, and hopefully this one here is helpful. So here we go. We're back at Crusty. The last video I replaced the roof section on the car, and it was the last piece that had to be welded up. I replaced this section over here. After doing a lot of welding on this car. There's a lot of videos on it, a lot of rust repair. Now I've gotten the main shell to the whole point that all the metal work is done on the main shell. What I need to do now is I want to seal this up. There's rust on this car. If you follow along, there's still a lot of black rust. You can look at it and you can see the black rust. It's kind of hard to see in the light there, but you can see down along here, you can see the rust, okay? I need to treat all that, and I'm putting a coat of primer on the whole car. All I'm doing here is stripping off all the old paint and rust and whatever, seam sealer, whatever I can get off there now, so I can find out where all the rust is to, any spots or whatnot, and get all the paint off, gone off inside around the doors. There's still no end to it all. I got a couple of holes here, one here, one here. Okay, duh. And you know, just clean it up as I go. Any holes that I comes across, I'll have to weld them up. You can see these little pieces of tape. One there, another one here. And these two now. I had to mark them. Another one there. Oh, you know it's that one. And another one here. I have a few of them there. I think there's one up underneath there as well. But I'll give you two guesses what all them pieces of tape are. And the first guess don't count. Yeah, they're all holes. They're all little bits that I'm going to have to weld up first. They're very small. So now I got all the welding done. And so now what I'm moving on to now is I'm going to do the rust converter on it. So I'm going to go ahead, mix this up, and get ready and get some primer on that. Now, wasn't that interesting? I sat down watching this video and I was like, my God, Tony, what were you into it all? Like most fellas would have just chopped up this car, threw it to the dump. But no, the challenge was there and I met the challenge. So don't ever get discouraged by, you know, how bad something is, especially if you can't get aftermarket panels for it. This car here still retains all its original panels in the car, sheet metal, but everything's been repaired, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope the tips were good, and until next time. Hope you enjoyed this little video, and until next time. Yeah. Oh yeah, right on. You gotta come in the middle of it all. Want your 2 cents? Look, what? What are you gonna say? Stick around? Yeah?